Don't let your kids watch it!
Welcome everyone to the Undercover Brony Reviews. The episode reviewed today will be The Return of Harmony, written by M.A. Larson.
You know, this would be like Discord, having us review his episode during quarantine. Makes sense.
Yeah, countries in chaos. Here's ponies.
Indeed.
Something like that. Yes. So I don't know how else to say this, so I'm just gonna be blunt because that's how I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's the good season premiere.
Exactly. This season premiere is legitimately the best season premiere we ever got for this show.
Now you could go
Legit.
through each one and look at them. And this is, I'll be honest, seasons 4 and 5 were pretty good, but those were like the last good ones. 3 wasn't too bad either. But this is like, it really is the best. I mean, the characters were kind of never at their better, basically. Discord was kind of never better than this. So it's like, hell, this episode was so good, people wanted Discord to come back.
Exactly.
I'm fairly certain, unless they always plan for him to come back. With this show, I can never tell how much of it was long-term planning, how much of it was listening to fan demand or whatever. But yeah, no, these 2 episodes rule.
I will definitely say that this. I don't remember the first time that I actually saw this for the first time, but I will say when I found out that Discord was voiced by the one and only John Delancey, I'm like, holy cow, that's awesome. Because I grew up a little bit of a Trekkie. I wasn't big into Star Trek. The main series that I got into was Voyager, but I knew who Q was. I knew who John Delancey was before this. So I was like, okay, that's cool.
Now, I never really gave a goddamn about Star Trek except for the William Shatner one. But so I'm sure I knew John Delancey from other stuff. I'd heard of him being Q. I guess you could say that's kind of his starring role or whatever. So that was the biggest name that ever came onto the show at that point. So I thought, okay, that's got potential because, as I've said before, I accidentally watched this first. My view history with the show goes random Fluttershy clips because, yeah. And then I was like, okay. So I typed in, it was something like My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, or maybe just typed in Friendship is Magic season premiere. And I accidentally watched this one instead of season 1. But I was like 5 minutes into it. And I was like, oh, I might as well stick with it, see where it goes. And I always say this, I'm like, man, I'm really glad I watched the season 2 premiere first.
Yeah, because I know the season 1 premiere tends to turn off some people because it's good. Don't get us wrong, but it's not as strong as season 2.
It's like season 1 wasn't even bad, but it's just there was some rough spots, and they hadn't really grasped the characters yet. But from this episode, from the get-go, you can already tell they had a more solid foundation on what they wanted the characters to be. If you want my honest opinion, I really think season 4 is probably where everybody got really solidified in their role and characterization. But this was, if season 1's the building bricks is just taking the bricks and putting them out on the floor, season 2 is starting to build the house. Season 3 puts the roof, and then season 4, you add some windows, you add some furniture, and then you just add a big old giant poster of JonTron in the back for no reason. But it all started with putting the bricks together to make a house. Maybe one day I'll tell you guys my theory about how My Little Pony is actually canon to Minecraft. But anyway, so this season, this episode starts off. No one talks about this, but this is actually all the Cutie Mark Crusaders' fault. Because they're walking in the garden with Shirley, and she cringely says, "My little ponies." I'm like, you could really tell they were trying to make that a thing, because this is like the 3rd, 4th time they did it, but I'm really glad they decided that wasn't gonna work.
I'm also really happy that they decided that the baby talk was not going to work as well, because
oh yeah,
I swear they did that like 3 or 4 different times in season 1, and each time I'm just like, please, for the love of God, stop.
It would get me so cringe. It made me want to shave everything off of my face. So I start to look like Billy Corgan. Well, a thick Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
So they're arguing, and then Shirley literally says, I haven't seen the episode in some time, but if memory serves, Shirley's like, oh yeah, this was a chaos god named Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Discord.
Like the statue represents discord, which means a lack of harmony between ponies. And then she assigns an essay to each of the CMC because they were arguing. And I'm just like, okay, for us who were in the public school system, ouch.
Yeah, no kidding. So she's literally like, yo guys, chaos god here, don't do something stupid. And the CMC are just like, okay, the board has accepted your submission, and we've decided that you can go fuck yourself. So they start arguing, and then you start to see cracks. You start to see cracks in the statue, and you're just like, oh my gosh, you flim-flangling twiddly dinking kids, you're about to heckin' end the world.
Mm-hmm.
Literally end the world. You know, I'm surprised they never did an episode of Discord trolling the CMC. That actually had a lot of potential, didn't it? He could just be like, well, you guys are in charge of me for a day because technically you're the reason we got set free. But then the CMC are like, wait, that was our fault. Then they have immense survivor's guilt at age 7. It'd be a really interesting ludonarrative deconstruction of a childhood fantasy.
This is also when the CMC were not like a huge focal point in the series. They had episodes, yes, but for the majority of them, it was like they were just kids, you know, they weren't like fleshed out characters like the main 6 were at the time. So, but I do like where your head's at. That would have been an awesome episode. So it cuts away to the main 6 having to deal with different parts of Discord. So, like,
yes,
you have cotton candy clouds.
Yes.
Corn that literally is popping.
Wonderful.
And chocolate rain.
Delicious. You know that guy still makes videos once in a while?
Yes, and he actually made his own remix of the My Little Pony theme.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the what in the butt guy still churns out a song or video every once in a while too. So the main 6 reconvene at the at Camelot Castle. No Luna. I guess they didn't draw her yet.
You know what? It's the Camelot Castle playset, in all honesty, from how aggressively they were marketing the toys at this point.
I know. You know, I always bring this up, but does anyone remember Princess Skyla?
Yeah, which eventually became Flurry Heart.
Okay, so that was Flurry Heart. Okay. Why did they drop the toy for that like 2 years before Flurry Heart was born?
No earthly idea.
And why did they never do anything with Flurry Heart? I thought at least, I mean, yeah, there was like the one babysitting episode. I thought her existence would have been a plot. She didn't even show up in the epilogue.
Yeah.
She should have, you know what actually would have been interesting is if the episode and if that epilogue was, I don't know, Flurry Heart going to Twilight, and then they pass on their stuff onto her. But no, it was a new character we never met before. I'm just saying, if your child's not going to be important to the plot, try a horse condom. So what happens next is Discord comes up, right? He shows up and he starts trolling the hell out of everybody.
And he's in the stained glass window, no less. And I love how, like, he subtly talking about the element of harmonies, the
Yeah.
elements of harmony. So like
Harmonies, the element of
For-
harmonies, the
yeah.
element, the sole element of all the harmonies.
yeah.
There was like what was that one grimdark
Oh,
fan fiction of MLP where Twilight like murdered all her friends so she could transform into the concept of harmony itself. What was that called? I forgot what it was, but yeah, that was a
Something
real
like
thing.
that.
It was
But
a real thing.
you know, if there was an element of harmonies, I would think, oh, so an element of singing. Interesting.
I think we got that in Philly Manili, no?
Something like that. But
So this scene, I don't want to like praise it too much, just in the sense that I was gonna say because it's a kids show, not to say kids shows can't be praised, but I don't want to like over dramatize how cool it was. But the scene's really cool because it has this like neat air of like. Because it's got like this whimsical tone, but there's like it's not even a sinister, it's just like this dark mystic edge to it. And like Discord's funny, he's cracking jokes and doing stuff, but he's also like just psychologically screwing with people. Like thinking about it now, it really makes you realize, man, I totally understand now why people used to write MLP fanfics where Discord took over the world and like I don't know, killed people. And like I read one where he like raped Twilight in front of Celestia or something. Anyway, so he's basically just like, come on, bro, I want to play. Discord does what Nintendo don't, and they're just like, screw you. The Nintendo 64 is awesome. It's overrated, and none of its games are as good as people want to say they are or remember. But the 64 was pretty good. We had Doom and that GoldenEye port.
Perfect Dark,
dude. They need to make it.
Turok Dinosaur Hunter.
We need more Turok and we need more Perfect Dark. Thank you.
They eventually get from Discord that of what Twilight thinks is the fact that he's in the hedge maze. And the reason they think that is because Celestia takes out the elements of harmony from like this huge door that's like magically enchanted and everything. And then they're missing. And I love how Rarity's like, you can take the elements, I'll take that case. And Discord shows up and he's like, twists and turns are my master plan, then to find the elements back where you began. So Twilight has the harebrained idea, oh, maybe they're in the hedge maze outside. And so they go over there. They get their wings and horns taken away. So they're all Earth ponies for a while. They all get separated. Discord slowly starts corrupting them one by one. He starts with Applejack, which basically does like a recreation of the Greek fates with like bushels of apples. And I'm like, that's really fucking cool. And he basically turns their elements against them. So with Applejack, she's now a permanent liar. And I also love how their coats, like their whole bodies go like slightly grayscale in a way, or like their colors have faded so that you know that they've been corrupted by Discord already.
Yeah.
Then you have Pinkie Pie. Wow. What a trip she went through.
Yeah, I don't know if she got it the worst, but she went through a journey. Can I say that? I think it's safe to say it was a journey.
One of the creepiest things, and the fact that I'm surprised they got away with it right away, was when Discord transports his face onto the balloon, and all you see is his neck come back.
Oh my god!
I'm like, damn, that's disturbing. And he basically corrupts her element by being her friends laugh with her, but not at her. But now she's being laughed at.
Yes.
And so she doesn't like laughter.
Yeah, that one was probably the one that was like way too real, just because I'm like, oof, been there, bruh.
Mm-hmm. And I love how each time they get corrupted, they're always based on the cutie mark. So with Applejack, it was apples. With Pinkie Pie, it's balloons. And then you go to Rarity, and it's her cutie mark inside this like stone wall, and she gets corrupted by being greedy. And she thinks that this humongous boulder is a diamond. I'm just like, huh.
That's right.
Well, you could find a diamond in any rough, huh? My favorite one is Fluttershy, because he goes up with the butterflies, and he's literally like, "It must be so upsetting with how weak and helpless they think you are." And she's like, "No, I am weak and helpless. I appreciate they understand that." And it's like, they just want me to be my best. I'm secure in my feelings. And so he just transforms back and just touches her to corrupt her. I cannot believe how many people are just like, "What? What? No, that's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to corrupt." Wait a second. He can corrupt them at any time with just a touch.
Yes.
But
He
he
just has
wanted
to be
corrupt
like
them in a more devious way. So he just did the other ways for shits and giggles. What do you not fucking get about that? Just saying. And since at this point you're a Rainbow Dash hater, why don't you go through her corruption?
This is interesting to me. So Discord, right? He puts Rainbow Dash in a precarious. Well, he hallucinates her. Hallucinates her. No, so he puts her in a trance, right? And the idea is, he like gives her this pretty sadistic choice. He's like, "Okay, look, bro, either you either you stay with your friends and look for the elements, or you save your hometown from being destroyed."
Mm-hmm.
And I remember watching that. I'm like, that's dark. That's sick. I remember at this moment, like, because if I remember right, Fluttershy's is the not Fluttershy. Rainbow Dashes is the last scenario. So at this point, I was already loving Discord, but then I was just like, oh my god, this dude's a genius. So she's going through that, and she's like losing her mind and stuff, and it's awesome because at this point I was just like, man, screw you, Rainbow Dash. The only thing you're good for is being shipped with Fluttershy. And Twilight eventually finds everyone, and he's like, oh, did you lose? And then I don't know. He calls. He's like, "You guys are the big gay, My Little Pony." And then the first part ends. That's been the Undercover Brony. I'm Snakeskin94,
and I'm John.
And we'll see you right now. So then part 2 starts. Let me pull it up on TV Tropes.
And the reason they lose is because Rainbow Dash took her wings to go to Cloudsdale. And I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah, that's right.
So you chose the town that ostracized you, bullied you, and basically made you feel like you were going to be nothing but a failure. Great choice, Rainbow Dash. I love how Discord is just so fed up with Twilight's ineptitude that he's just like, okay, fucking let me bring you back to the past so I could show you what I was talking about. I never said they were in the hedge maze. You just wasted an entire episode on a stupid side quest. Let's get back on the main quest, okay? So she decides to go back to Ponyville.
You know what's funny?
I gotta say, corrupted Fluttershy is best Fluttershy.
Dude, anytime Fluttershy dropped her facade was the best.
I love the fact that Twilight gets trampled by a herd of rabbits with horse legs, and you see hoof prints all over Twilight's body. Basically implying she got the shit kicked out of her. And you see Fluttershy going, "Good boy, Angel. Mama's so proud." I'm like, damn. I love it. I love it so much. And they get to the library, and she sees the elements, and they do a game of Monkey in the Middle, which, let me just say, I hated that game as a kid because I was always the one picked to be in the middle and I could never fucking catch anything. So she's constantly trying to get the book. And it's this glorious fight scene. Really, the fact that they were just going at each other's throats for this like single scene was glorious. She gets the elements and she puts them on every pony, and she's like, "All right, necklace, 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 and big crown thingy. Come on, let's go." And Spike's like, "What about Rainbow Dash? Where's she?" And then Twilight, she gets a bright idea, and you kind of hear like a sound effect of her just kind of like snapping, and she's like, "Congratulations, Spike! You're the new Rainbow Dash." Oh my gosh, that was so good. And Spike's reaction was perfect too. Basically, like, "Oh, what if she finds out I'm impersonating her? Oh, that won't end well." And of course, they try the elements and it fails majestically. And they all do like a big friendship breakup. The ship is no more.
The pollination ship. Whatever.
And then Twilight, it's like, "I don't need you guys. With friends like you, who needs enemies?" That's when she finally becomes corrupted. And I'm like, and her tear forms a broken heart. I'm like, damn. But still, symbolism.
I know that's some Japanime stuff where, like, you ever see that where like someone cries and it like glistens, and then sometimes the tear like plops on the ground and then like a whole flashback plays in the tear.
Yeah,
that's what's going on.
Like, at least it's not the weird hand thing from The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Discord does what the main six don't.
So of course he's won.
I'm funny.
Yep.
Funny. I'm probably not funny. I suck. I hate myself. Nah, I don't hate myself. Do I hate myself, or do I just think I hate myself, or do I think that I think I? You were saying,
dude, did Discord corrupt you too?
Bro, I don't know if it's Discord or I'm feeling corrupted something.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't. You know, I bought a lifetime supply of raw sheep, and I think the fumes are getting to me. I keep it under my bed. I read it under a website that is supposed to stop Bill Cosby breaking into your house, but I don't know, man. Something's not right. Maybe it's because I don't know if people say. Maybe it's because I literally sleep with Maleficent hanging over my bed. But
could be. Yeah. So Twilight goes back to her room, and she's totally dejected. She throws away her crown, her element of magic crown.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Spike, we're moving somewhere. Don't ask me because I don't know yet." And you see Spike like belching up a bunch of letters, and I'm like, dude, why are you trying to imply that he's been puking? Like, seriously. Because the way he moves and everything else, and the way he's just like, "Make it stop." I'm just like, damn, dude, I feel bad for you. I feel real bad. And especially when after Twilight reads all the letters that were sent back and gets her mojo back, that she's spinning Spike around, and Spike literally like puffs out his cheek like he's about to vomit on her. I'm just like, Twilight, why you doing that to your surrogate son, baby brother, whatever you guys are?
Yeah, you know, I like them as siblings, but I always kind of wish they could have tried to do a kind of the surrogate mom thing. I guess it makes sense that Celestia is more the surrogate mom, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, Twilight hashed her and raised her. Maybe they thought that'd be too complex, but yeah, no, the The sister brother thing works really good, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, by the way, did we mention that Discord has turned the world inside out and upside down outside?
Well, let's talk about that. Everything's
Because
a checkerboard.
oh my god,
Everything looks like a.
I think every single frame of the next 5 minutes got turned into fan art.
And I gotta say,
Jesus,
he turns the entire world into a level of Bubsy 3D. Like seriously, everything's checkerboard. Everything's all fucked up.
PlayStation ain't perfect, but we're pretty damn good. PlayStation ain't perfect, but we're pretty damn good. Ugh! Anyway,
So
hate Bubsy.
So Twilight literally goes around and reverts her friends back. And I know Josh Scorcher said that he wanted all of the other main 5 encounters to be just like Applejack's. I'm like, you only got 5 minutes left in the episode, dude. That's not really much you can do. And there's not really much you can cut out from the other, like 30 some odd minutes to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, really, I agree with you, but I also agree with the sentiment that, I mean, the episode wasn't, I don't know about perfectly, but the episode was very well paced, I thought. I think they allocated all their visual resources to all the areas they should have / could have.
I do like that with Applejack, it's basically like her kind of explaining what's going on. It's like, I saw a vision of us feuding and fighting. I didn't want to face the truth, so I thought if I told lies, it would make things better and everything. I'm like, wow, that's really fucking deep for this show, especially for this early in the show as well. Then it goes to the other ones. And I love how Rarity just knocks Tom out and is like, we shall never speak of this again. And it's an epic chase scene. My favorite part of this chase scene, though, is when Fluttershy is pulling them in the balloon and they're trying to get closer to Rainbow Dash. And Twilight's like, Fluttershy, you need to go faster. And you see her with tears in her eyes. She's like, I can't. And Twilight's like, if you don't go any faster, Discord wins. If we don't catch Rainbow Dash, Discord wins. And then you just get that fire in her eyes where she just opens up. She's like, that big, dumb me! And just rockets them forward. I'm like, yes! That was epic!
She summons the might of Zeus and just heave-hoes them. It's pretty rad.
So she basically goes from Billy Batson to Shazam in that moment.
That's literally what happened, yeah.
So they get Rainbow Dash down on the ground, and I love how she's trying to buck off all the ropes that are around her and everything. That was interesting. Then they all go to face Discord. And the one visual thing that I will never get tired of is the fact that they're coming towards him and he's like, oh, this again. And he has chocolate milk. And instead of the chocolate milk, he sips up the glass itself, throws the chocolate milk, and it creates a nuke behind him.
I forgot about that. I remember when I saw that. I watched that premiere at 2 in the morning. Don't ask why. And I laughed so hard just because it was like 2 seconds, but it was perfect. It's like you said, it's one of my favorite visual gags I've ever seen. It's, oh man, I love Discord. Oh, well, yeah. I loved Discord. Then unfortunately he sucked every other episode, but whatever.
They apparently can shoot the symbols of their elements out towards Discord now.
Their ass.
And they encapsulate him in stone.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and he just sits there.
Was epic. And I love how the arc of the rainbow literally splits apart to the entirety of Ponyville to bring it back to normal.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I was like, that's fucking cool.
Tell
And then
you
the episode
something.
ends with a Star Wars reference to the ending of A New Hope, where they're getting their medals and everything. So yeah, that was Return of Harmony.
I feel like I know what I want to rate it, but I don't know. What would you rate it, Jan?
Well, the way I see this episode is just wow. So I give it a 10.
Okay, yeah, me too. I felt like is it expected it gets a 10? Is it really a 10? But yeah, no, it's a 10. It's great. Both episodes are great. It's easily the only 10 out of 10 season premiere. I mean, they've had like 5 different 10 out of 10 season finales. Well, they've only had like 3, I guess. But still, we've there's only been out of 200 episodes, I'm pretty sure there's only like maybe 20 that were 10 out of 10s. Probably less actually.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, it's great. It set up great things to come, and then it was this great premiere was followed up by 2 phenomenal episodes. So yeah, season 2 is kind of off to a big dick start.
Yeah. Next episode, the fabled Lesson 0.
Nah, but for real, it's the season rules. Everything gets a little blurry after that. Then there's Meridwell. Then it's blurry, and then there's the finale. Oh wait, no. Then there's the one where Rainbow Dash gets a pat.
Yep. We'll get to that pretty soon too. So yeah. Signing off. Until next time. That's it from me, John.
And me, Snakeskin.
And we will talk to you guys later. Peace out, Dragon.
Adios.